I'm working on a spreadsheet that includes a number of different salespeople and the amount that they sold each month. I need a way to visualize these numbers so I can see how each person's sales are progressing over time. I could just put them all together in one big chart. This certainly looks cool, but it's not exactly easy to read, and it's almost impossible to pinpoint any one person with all these overlapping lines. Luckily, there's another option called Sparklines that'll let us give each person their own separate mini chart, one that fits into a single cell. In this case, we'll be putting a sparkline on each row, so it'll be right next to the source data. To get started, select the data for a single sparkline. In most cases, this will mean a single row or column. Then go to the Insert tab, and in the Sparklines group, you'll find commands for the three different types: line, column, and win-loss. I'm going to choose line. Next, we just need to select the cell where we want the sparkline to go, in this case right next to our source data. Then click OK. And there's our first sparkline. We'll copy it to the rest of the worksheet the same way that we copy a formula, by clicking and dragging the fill handle. Now all the rows have sparklines, and we can easily see whether sales are increasing or decreasing for each employee. For example, David Carson's sales are trending upward, while Elizabeth Count's are trending downward. Let's make some changes that'll make the sparklines stand out a bit more. If you want to make them larger, you can just make all the rows taller, and the sparklines will stretch to fit. You can also select any sparkline, it doesn't matter which one, and the Design tab will appear on the ribbon. Here you'll find a wide range of tools that'll let you customize your sparklines. In the Show group, for instance, you can choose to highlight certain points to make your sparklines easier to read. Probably the most useful ones are High Point and Low Point. I also like First Point and Last Point for clearly marking the beginning and the end of the sparkline. If we turn on markers, you can see that it highlights every point, which can make your sparklines look a bit cluttered. And I know there are no negative points in my data, so I'm going to leave this option alone. It may help to choose a different style for your sparkline to give it more contrast. I like this one because it makes the high point green and the low point red, which should really make them stand out. In the Type group, you can change the type of sparkline that you're using. In addition to line, column is also a good choice because it works with most types of data. Win-loss, on the other hand, will just tell us whether the values are positive or negative. It won't show how high or low they are. I don't have any negative values here, so that's not as useful. I'm just going to switch back to column. There's one more thing you should know about sparklines. By default, they're scaled to fit each cell perfectly so they fill the entire thing. Notice how the maximum values look the same in these two sparklines, even though we can tell from the source data that the numbers are very different? That's the problem with this feature. It makes it hard to compare one sparkline to another because they all look so alike. In some cases, it can even be misleading. Luckily, there's a way to counter this.